Okay, this is experiment 1, lab 2, and I don't know why they call it experiment because we know what's going to happen. There's nothing, we're not going to discover anything, but it's an experience. Okay, we'll go with that. Let me see how if I can. Seeing me is not going to be really as important as seeing what I'm doing. How's that work? Not bad. Okay, actually, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so experiment 1, lab 2 starts out. Wash your hands using aseptic technique. There's no sink in here. Okay, so you're going to presume that I washed my hands, and I'm going to presume that you washed your hands. Okay. All right. Fine. All right. And then gloves. Put your gloves on. Now, okay. Just a word for a minute. I worked in pharmacy for 29 years. Now, we do some things that require sterile technique, and we do some things, where we require gloves. But counting a prescription is not one of them. So this is unusual, but just for the sake of what we're doing here is we're learning to manipulate things. We're learning to handle the equipment. So as part of the exercise, we're going to put gloves on. Now, if you were doing a lot of repackaging and you were going to be pushing tablets around in the repackaging equipment and so forth, yeah, you would wear gloves. But go into your local pharmacy and see how often you find anybody back there with gloves on. Okay, so this is possibly a little bit unrealistic, but that's okay. We're not trying to simulate reality here. We're just learning to manipulate the things we have to learn to manipulate, okay? Okay. So we've done that. There's our counting tray. And we're going to clean the counting tray and the spatula with an alcohol swab. So there's the alcohol swab. Okay, and we're going to pull this out. I'll tell you, alcohol swabs are getting thinner and more flimsy all the time, but this will do. Generally speaking, you will, from time to time throughout the day, clean your tray with an alcohol swab. Mostly, not that you're trying to achieve sterility, but dust gets in there and somebody could be allergic to a medicine that they're not actually taking, but they could get some from the dust from a previous prescription. And so you want to be a little bit careful about that. And you do want to clean your counting tray and spatula fairly regularly. Okay, so there we have it. We've cleaned it. All right, now we're going to put all of our tablets onto the tray. And that will happen, but I'm wearing gloves so I can pick them up. Okay, fine. All right, so there, we've put all our tablets onto the counting tray. Okay, yeah. It says open the window covering the counting tray tube. That's this. Okay, so do that. Tray well. They call it a tray well. All right, it's not often that you'll work in a pharmacy where they name the parts of the counting tray. But okay. Keeping track of the amount of tablets, use the counting spatula to slide the tablets into the tray well in increments of 5. In other words, count up to 20 by 5s. All right, so there's 5, 10, 15, 20. So that's how it's done. Okay, and then what you do is you close the well, if you will. Okay, you take the extra tablets and pour them back into the stock bottle. Now, normally, I mean, it's rare you find anybody keeping tablets in a Ziploc bag. Okay, it's going to look more like, you know, more like this. Okay, so you open the lid up and you pour the tablets back in there, and that's more realistically what that would look like. But okay, this is what we're doing. It's an experience. It's a laboratory experience. All right. Put them back in. Put them into a container. Secure the container and put a label on it, and store in an appropriate place. All right. So here's your it's just out of sight. Okay. Here's your container. Boom. There. We did that. Okay. Lid. Okay. And label. Label what it is. We're going to put it out of the way. Okay. In practice, I didn't write anything on this label because honestly, in practice, the computer would have printed the label. You all had prescriptions filled. You know how that looks. Okay, and the label goes on the bottom. Boom. That's the way that works. Okay. So that's the first phase. And then they tell you to disinfect again. Okay, fine. And then put the rest of the tablets onto the tray. This is another part of the exercise. All right. I'm going to use the same alcohol swab because alcohol swabs don't grow on trees. Besides, it's still wet. And there. Okay. So I'm going to take this and open this up like that. Okay. And put that there. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So there are 40 left. That's interesting because we just counted 20. This bag says there were 40 in there. And we counted another 40. So actually there were 60 in there, but that's okay. So we counted them. And then we're going to put them into a prescription vial. What do they call an orange pill container? It's an amber vial. Okay, but if you want to call it an orange, yeah, for now we can call it an orange tablet container. Okay. And it needs to have a label. And if your kit's like mine, you probably don't have another label for this exercise. So, okay, if you don't have another label for this exercise, I understand because I didn't. And so that won't do anything to your grade. Okay. But ordinarily you'd put a label on there, obviously. Okay. Let me sit down for a minute and look at you. There you are. Okay. One of the things that is kind of like a principle is you don't have tablets around in anything that's not labeled. Okay, drugs must be labeled, period, so that there's no confusion about what's in there, what is that, what what do we do with this? I'll tell you what you do with it. If you see tablets laying there and it's been there for more than a couple minutes and you didn't put them in there and you don't know who did put them in there, then you should throw them away because you've lost the identification of them. But anyway, that's what we have for now. Okay. So we did that. and screw the lid and label it. Okay, so that's the lab. Okay, so we've done lab 2, experiment 1. We counted tablets using a counting tray and spatula, and we were very clean about it. We wore gloves and we used our alcohol swabs, you know. And again, that's a little exaggerated for purposes of this lab, but the idea of this lab is not to show you how to fill prescriptions today. The idea is to get you accustomed to using the things that you have to use in order to work. Okay, so I think we've done that. So duplicate what I just did. You should have your kit, and you should have the instructions that come with it. If not, they could be downloaded. Print them out so you can follow the directions and follow the steps, and video yourself while you do that, and then upload it and send it to me. You know, put it on to Zoom and send it to me. And you can email it, but the best thing to do is to upload it to the assignment so that I can see it in fact, do that. Okay, download the file in whatever it's in, and then upload that file to me via the assignment. You can just you can probably copy and paste it. Okay, all right. So that's that. That's how we did this. So that's the first one. Little note, kind of like if any of you watch Family Feud, you'll get the feeling sooner or later that they don't just do one of these a day. You know, they do several. So if I'm on here and doing next week's lab experiment and I'm still wearing the same clothes, it's because I actually did them on the same day. Okay, so that just so you know. Okay, all right, we did that. Very good. Thank you, and be sure to practice so you can get this out.